Hello everyone, how are you doing? Before I get into chapter 2, I would like to just recap what we learned in chapter 1, story of Palampur. In that particular chapter, we understood what are the various factors of production. Factor of production means what are the basic requirements to produce any good or provide any services. We understood there are four categories or four factors of production. First is the land and natural resources. Second is the labor, both the educated and the manual one. Then we saw physical capital, and the final one is human capital. So a human uses his knowledge and enterprise skills to bring all the factors of production together and do a business, right? So chapter 2 will be completely focusing on human capital. We'll be understanding people or the human capital. The chapter name is People as Resource. So we are going to deal with population as an asset for development of economy. Okay, now let's get started. The chapter starts with explanation of concept of people as a resource. So normally it is very important to understand that the people or the population of the country are an asset. They are not liability. So the working population with skills and ability is an asset. It is not a liability. As I mentioned, it is mentioned it is linked to the idea of human capital, which we read in the factors of production. So this particular concept or this definition is directly relating to question 1. What do you understand by people as resource? Human capital formation, or question number 2, how human resources is different from other resources like land and physical capital. So in this, as by the end of this understanding or then the end of this discussion, you will understand the answer for question 2 also. So human capital formation, how human capital formation happens. Population becomes human capital when there is investment in education, training, and healthcare. So what do I mean? So we have population. Say for example in India there is a very huge population, but it will not be called as human capital directly. Population will become human capital when there is investment in the population. And what is the investment that is done? Money needs to be spent in providing education, training, and good healthcare to the population. Then only what will happen? People will get skilled and their productivity will increase. Example, Indian IT revolution. So if I explain Indian IT revolution more, what happened? Lot of engineering graduates, right? Lot of people started studying engineering. They went to IITs. Okay, there are other colleges in the states also. Lot of people, students, they got educated in engineering, and once they got educated in engineering, they became skilled population. They got the skills of an engineer, and these people were then hired by IT companies, and they went on developing wonderful softwares or working for world-class companies, right? So initially they were just students. The population was just a student, but then they started studying. They invested money in their study. They gave time. They learned the engineering subjects, and they became skilled workforce. They became human capital, and they were employed by IT companies, right? So this is the example of human capital formation. How human capital is formed? By investing in the population in areas of education, training, and healthcare. So question number 2, how human resources different from other resources like land and physical capital? See, as we understood in factors of production also, land, labor, physical capital, okay, land, labor, physical capital, these factors of production, when they are standing alone, they cannot do anything. There should be some human coming in and bringing them together with an idea. Then only they are able to manufacture or provide any services. So human resources utilizes the other factors of production, and if there is no human capital, there is no way the other factors of production can be brought together to give an end result like a production or providing of services. So human capital is the most or one of the most superior factors of production. Returns on human capital. So normally how you will generate returns from human capital, what we are talking is like you take population, you invest in their education, in their training, in their healthcare, then they will become human capital. But you will have a question, okay, I have invested so much in population to make it a human capital, but what is the return? What will be the advantage if somebody goes and studies more? If somebody takes care of his health more, what will happen? If somebody studies more and he gains some skills, he is able to get more money in the form of salary, or if he does any business, he can sell or buy more things and he will generate more income, right? Similarly, if an individual is healthy, what will happen? He will be able to work better. If somebody is not healthy, he gets fever regularly, he gets cold, what will happen? He will have to take a lot of leaves even in the office. So a person who has good health, good education, good technical knowledge, he will be able to earn more also, and he will have higher productivity. How do you determine the quality of a population? How do you determine the quality of population? So if you just refer to what we discussed just now, a population is converted into a human capital when there is an investment in their education, technical skill development, as well as the medical care. So quality of a population also is determined by literacy rate, how educated they are, life expectancy, how many years they are expected to live on an average, skill formation, what are the skills they are possessing, right? So normally in the global market, in world, Indian people or the Indian population is known for its English, right? It is just an example. So that shows a skill which is acquired by Indian people. What is it? Skill of speaking in English. Indian people are known for their skill of IT skills. So that is again a skill. So quality of a population is determined by the literacy rate, the education they have, life expectancy, and the skill form. So next we will understand what is the role of education in development of a human capital. So education is very important, right? It is one of the investment that needs to be done in the people so that they become more knowledgeable. So if a person has more education, he is able to earn more money. So if he earns more money, he contributes more towards the national income and governance of the country. So let us take an example. There are two kids. This story is also given in the chapter. So if you go through the chapter, you will be able to read this story. Assume there are two kids of the same age. One is able to study. He completes his 10th class, then he goes for 12th class, then he goes for engineering studies. And after completion of his education, he gets placed with some nice corporate company. He gets a salary of say 50,000 per month. His friend who was not able to study because of his family issues or some other family problems, he could not go to school, so he did not complete his 10th class. He stopped his education right after 10th class. So what will happen? This guy may end up doing some casual work or some other skill he got, and then he started working as an electrician or a helper, or he got involved into construction field. It is not necessary that he becomes successful or starts earning same level of money compared to the person who completed his education, right? So education always helps in increasing the income of the person because of the skills which he has got. And to boost education in India, what government has done? So they have taken some policies like universal access. So government is trying to bring in many initiatives or many policies so that education is provided to everyone. Basic literacy has to be provided to everyone, right? Then government has set up Navodaya schools in all the districts so that education is provided at the village level also. Along with the education, what government is doing is called as vocational training. So kids, people who are studying in the schools, they are taught life skills also. Okay, like carpentry or plumbing work. These are some examples which I am giving. So they are taught even the vocational training so that they are able to get some skill along with the things what they are learning. And then comes the midday meal. So what is happening? Poor people, they are not able to afford good food. So food is provided in the school itself. So parents are at least having some motivation to send the kids to school. Okay, at least they will get good meal in the school. So what is happening? Kids are getting good nutrition also and they are getting education also. Next, what is the role of health in human capital formation? It is again another important pillar for the individual's growth. What will happen if a person is not having good health? Will he be able to work properly? Do you have any classmates who get sick continuously or regularly? What they do? They end up missing the classes. They are not able to come to school continuously. What will happen? They will lag behind. Then their notes won't be complete. They will not understand concepts. Similarly, if a person who is working, his health is not good, what will happen? He will not be able to come to school. He will not be able to come to office regularly. He may have to take a lot of leaves. Okay, his productivity will not be there. His managers or his company will not be able to give more work to him, thinking, okay, if we give something tomorrow, he will not come. How it will happen? So what will happen? At the end of the day, he will not be able to work properly, and due to which his growth will also be impacted. He will not be able to get promotion. He will not be able to get increase in the salary, right? So if health is good, it will help the individual to do and give his best. It will help in realize his potential. And to provide good health, what government is doing, they have increased the accessibilities. The number of hospitals have increased at the village level, district level, state level. Okay, even the government has introduced multiple policies or multiple policies so that the child care is taken. Good health facilities are provided to kids right from the time of their birth. Government, the way they have developed all the medical facilities, life expectancy has increased. So that is average number of years people are living, are alive. And infant mortality rate, birth and the death rates, these are some other dimensions which are measured in order to see whether how is the health of people. So in this slide, based on my discussion, you should be able to get the answer to what is the role of education in human capital formation and what is the role of health in human capital formation. Now, as we discussed, health is an important investment in order to make people human capital. It helps in individual realizing his potential, right? So how government measures how is the health of population? So what does government do? The government tracks infant mortality rate. It is the ratio of death of a child below 1 year of age. Then comes the birth rate, number of babies born for every 1,000 people during particular period of time. And the death rates, number of people per 1,000 who die during a particular period of time. So these are important ratios which government actually tracks to see how is the health of population. So these are important ratios even from perspective of your exams. So ensure you understand them and try to remember them. Next important terms is unemployment. So till now we understood that the population becomes a human capital when there is investment in education, there is investment in their knowledge and skills, there is investment in their health. Okay, now you have put some money, you have investment in your population, and now they have studied and they are well educated, they are ready to be work, they can go for work. But what if they are not able to get the work? That is called as unemployment. What is unemployment? It exists when the people who are working to work are not able to find a job. So what does it mean? Okay, assume that you have completed your education and now you are looking to get a job. If you are not able to get a job, you are called as unemployed, because in this case you have an intention and you want to work, but you're not able to get the job because of whatever reason it may be. So similarly, any person who is willing to work but is not able to find the job, he is called as unemployed. Why unemployment is important or why it should be reduced? Because it increases economic overload. What does it mean? So there is a person who can work and who can earn some income, but he's not able to do it because there are no opportunities. So what will happen? This person becomes burden on another person. Example, there is a family, father is working, son is already completed his education, but he is not able to get the job. So what will happen? He will be dependent on his father. Ideally, there should be two sources of income in that family, but because of his unemployment, he is dependent on his father. So it creates a burden on the father. This is the example of economic overload. So what will happen in economy if some are working and some are not working? The people who are working, they will have to take the burden of the people who are not working. Okay, this is called as economic overload. And it leads to the waste of potential resources. So if a person is educated and he's ready to work, he's a resource, he's a human capital, he's a human resource, he should be utilized, right? He should be utilized in some or the other job. His potential, his knowledge should be used. But if it is not being done, it is the waste of potential resources. So this particular explanation should help you write question number 9. How will you explain the term unemployment? And now there are types of unemployment. The types of unemployment, they are divided into two categories. One is the rural unemployment, another one is the urban unemployment. So let us first understand urban unemployment. It is mainly educated unemployment. What does it mean? People have completed their matriculation, they have completed their 12th class, they have completed degree, but they are not able to find jobs. So people with degrees are not able to find the job. In rural, there are two categories of unemployment. One is a seasonal unemployment and then there is a disguised unemployment. So seasonal unemployment means people are not employed or people are not able to find jobs in certain period of time. Take the examples of firecracker business. When does it actually have demand? During Diwali season or during Dashara season. So only those 4-5 months the people who are working in this industry have lot of work. They are working day and night, they are manufacturing the crackers, but once this season is over, they hardly have any work. So this is an example of seasonal unemployment. So they are employed during the cracker season, but in all other season they are unemployed. Take another example. People who don't own any land, but they go and work in some other person's agricultural field. They will be employed only during the time of, say, harvesting, when the seeds are being put into the soil, or they will be employed, point number one, when seeds are being put into the soil, or when the harvest is there, when the crop is ready and they want to take out the crop. At that time they will be employed. Another example I will tell you. People involved in the construction business. So you must have seen laborers or people working in construction of buildings. They are getting lot of work during dry season when there is no rain. But say suddenly there is lot of rain, 1 or 2 months, they will not be able to construct any building, right? They will not be involved in any kind of construction. So again, you see, in rainy season they don't have work. but in other seasons they are able to find the job. So it is like seasonally they will be unemployed, but in some other seasons they are able to find the job. Now, what is disguised unemployment? Before I explain the term, I'll give you an example. Assume there is one family with four people, father, mother, and there are two kids. So they own a small piece of agricultural land and they are fully dependent on that land. So every day what happens? Father will get up, he will fresh up, he will go to the agricultural land and he will do the agricultural work. Mother, what she will do, she will complete all her household work, cleaning, etc., sending children to school, and then she will lock the door, take the food, and she will go to agricultural land. She will also work for some time. She will eat the food along with the husband, and evening both of them will come back to home. Coming a weekend, Sunday, the kids are at home. Father has gone to agricultural land. Mother also takes the food for him later. And even the kids, what they will do, all of them will close the door of the house and they will go to the agricultural land and they will start working. So, ideally, only if father plus mother are working on that land, they will be able to easily manage all the work. But in this case, what is happening? Father is also working, mother is also working, kids are also working. So ideally what is happening? Two people are required to do the work, but four people are working. So that is what is called as disguised unemployment. More people are working than it is actually needed in that particular work. And agriculture is the major sector where disguised unemployment is there. Similar to the example which I have given, people of entire family are involved in this particular agricultural activity. So they end up, more people appear to be employed rather than what is actually required. So as I told you, types of unemployment: rural unemployment and urban unemployment. Rural unemployment, there are two categories. One is the seasonal and the second one is the disguised. Urban, educated unemployment. Next, economic activities and what are the types of economic activities. So first let us understand what is economic activities. Activities that add value to national income are called as economic activities. What are activities that add value to national income? For example, your father must be, if your father is working in job, so what he does every day morning, he gets up, he freshens up and he goes to office. From day morning to night he's working in office and he's coming back. So every month he gets a salary, right? Every 6 months or 1 year he gets a bonus, so he's getting some income. Similarly, your friend's father may be doing a business, so what he does, he's buying and selling something for profit. So what he's doing, he's earning income in the form of business profit. So people who are doing these kind of works and they are getting income, all these incomes add together and they form the national income. So people who are earning money in some or the other form, these are the activities that add value to national income. There are two different types of economic activities. One is the market activity. It involves a remuneration to anyone who performs, and then there are non-market activities like the activities done for self-consumption. So, for example, a small farmer, even if he's not selling the goods in the open market from the agriculture land which he works on, he is actually generating some value. That thing is getting used in their own consumption. So now we understood what are economic activities. So what happens? There are, as I told you, there are many activities which are performed by people, like there is farming, there is manufacturing, there is IT industries. So these activities are categorized into three different sectors called as sector of economy. First one is the primary sector like agriculture, fishing, mining. Secondary is the manufacturing, and the third is the tertiary. Tertiary, it includes trade, transport, education, health, and IT. So primary is something which is directly relating to nature. If you see the example, there is agriculture, there is fishing, there is mining. Secondary, what happens is there is a conversion of a raw material into a product. There is a final product which you can touch. It is tangible. For example, your mobile, your notebook, anything you see In front of you is an secondary sector output. Table, phone, books, your creams, your medicine, everything forms part of manufacturing. And then comes the tertiary. So what does it mean? Tertiary means the provision of services. Okay, transport is a service, education is a service, health is a service. So if you go to doctor will give you a check you, and then she will give you some medicines. So what is happening? Is she manufacturing anything? No, she is providing a service. Your teacher, your teacher is teaching you something. At the end of the day, after 8 or 9 periods in school, you are not having any manufactured output, but you get a knowledge which you cannot touch, right? So transport, trade, education, these are all the examples of tertiary sector. And sector wise employment trends. So what does it mean is we are trying to analyze which sector provides highest employment. So primary in India, primary sector or agriculture is the most labor absorbing sector. Then comes the secondary. It is a small scale manufacturing. So even in the secondary sector, there are small scale manufacturing which are more labor intensive. So those employ more people. And then comes the tertiary sector. This is increasing in trend of hiring people. So slowly in India, more and more people are getting hired in the tertiary sector. For example, the IT industry, biotechnology, and other services. Okay, so these are the various sectors of economy. And sector wise, what is the trend of where people are employed, how many are employed, and everything. So if based on this understanding, you should be able to write what are the various activities undertaken in each sector. So this is one important topic which is discussed in the textbook. Women versus men, division of labor. What do you mean women versus men? So for example, if both your parents are working, then both your mother and father should be going to work, or they may be doing any business. So what happens? They are getting salary. But normally if somebody's mother or any of your relative is a homemaker, she's not going to office. So what will happen? She will not get any kind of income, but the amount of work she does is large. If she doesn't do that work and it is outsourced to somebody others, it would have been lot of money that should have been paid. But what is happening? Due to historical and cultural reasons in India, women generally look after household work. Men, they will go out and earn money. So this is a normal trend in India which is changing very fastly. Why women are not paid high? So as we understood, people who have better education, better skills, and better medical facilities or good health, they are paid high. But because of the historical and cultural reason, education and other skills were not properly provided to women, and that is a major reason they are not able to have good level of income. But if women have good education and they are provided education, health, and skill equal to men, then they are also able to earn good amount of money. So with this, we come to the end of this particular chapter. So where we have learnt about what is people as a resource, right? What is people as a resource? What is economic activity? What are the investments which are required to make people as a resource? What is the quality of human capital? So you need to just revise everything again, and wherever possible I have given the references to question marks also, so you can frame your answers. And even after listening to entire video, you're not very comfortable, you want to further understand any particular concept, or you want to discuss it more with me, you can always drop me a mail. I have given my email ID in the description. Further, if you have any queries or if you are any suggestions about the video, you can always mention it in the comments below. Thank you very much and stay tuned for more videos.